Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Call me a boomer one more time. See what happens. Hello, people. It's Halloween, and this is the Morning Night Live. I hope you're ready to have just a lovely day, because I know I am. So, today, me and my cup of reparations coffee we don't exactly have a plan. Although I have a few stories, and it is FTG Thursday. But let's just say good morning to who's here, and we'll move along. Right? Okay. C. Thomas, Gulf City Peasant. I recognize that name. I'm glad you're here. Plus, you were first, so you get the obligatory bell. Also, good morning, Chi-Town J, Duck Dog, Diesel Dave, D.I. Freighter, Marsupial Gamer, Jaeger Pony. My microphone's screwed up. Oh, yeah, Jaeger Pony. I got your boomer right here. Biatch. Tyler F. Jay Reynolds, good morning. I haven't seen you in a while. Halloween, and also my wife and my 14-year anniversary being married. Hey, I'm going to give you a bell for that too. Congratulations, Jay Reynolds. And Duck Dog. Good morning. So, before we get into anything real scary, I figured, now notice I have a little bit of a light change here too. I don't know why I didn't turn the lights on. I thought maybe that would be a little more ambient, but sometimes that's how things go. But I do have something for you that's different today. I guarantee that. And that's my musical choices. Because, it's Halloween. And I just feel we need a little more suspense and intrigue. And wow, that was really bright. Okay. Good morning, Zombie Teddy. I see you're here too. Happy non-Brexit Day. Yes, it is non-Brexit Day also. So, what shall we talk about today? Well, I found a couple interesting stories on Wired, actually, because there's an interesting thing, a phenomenon that happened that I don't know why we didn't know about this, but apparently there's been a plane that's been gone for a very long time, and it's just returning. You know what? I gotta turn. Okay, let's turn this down on my headphones. Let me know if that music's too loud. I know it's. There's a mood I'm trying to create today, but if it's too loud, let me know. I'll try to talk loud enough so you can hear me over it. Let's start with this one though today because I thought this was fascinating. So, and this is just a couple days ago they published this. Secret space plane just landed after a record stay in orbit. Did you all hear about this? The plane spent 780 continuous days in orbiting, conducting classified experiments for the U.S. Air Force before autonomously landing itself. Fascinating. The old space shuttle landing facility at NASA's Kennedy Space Center received an unusual visitor early Sunday morning when the Air Force's secretive X-37B spaceplane autonomously returned from orbit after a record-breaking mission. For the last 780 days, the Air Force Research Laboratory used the spaceplane as an orbital platform for classified experiments. These experiments tested technologies ranging from avionics to advanced propulsion systems and deployed a few small satellites. Interesting. We'll probably never know exactly what sorts of experiments were being done up there, but the Air Force called the mission a big success. The X-37B continues to demonstrate the importance of a reusable spaceplane, Secretary of the Air Force Barbara Barrett said in a statement. Each successive mission advances our nation's space capability. So, because the shuttle program, I think they shut down the shuttle program basically for the most part. Although, don't they use it to get to the space station or something? Anyway, so they've had this reusable plane up in space for that long. That's amazing. The X-37B looks like a small-scale version of NASA's space shuttle at just under 29 feet in length. That's not very long. And 14-foot wingspan, it's hardly bigger than a school bus, but provides more than enough room for the Air Force to test new tech in microgravity. Although Boeing floated the idea for an X-37C spaceplane capable of carrying up to 6 astronauts to and from orbit back in 2011, there has been no updates on these plans since. The Air Force did not respond to Wired's request for a comment about the status of the X-37C program. X-37B's return to Earth on Sunday marks the end of the 5th successful mission for the spaceplane. 5th successful mission. Have you ever heard of this plane? Huh? Fascinating. Which first took flight in 2010. The X-37 program was originally developed by NASA in the late 1990s before it transferred the tech to DARPA in the early 2000s. The Air Force made 2 flight versions of the X-37B, and to date, they have spent a total of 2,856 days in orbit. Wow, no idea. The most recent mission was launched on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in 2017 and broke the spaceplane's previous record in space by 62 days. Beyond some vague generalities about the types of experience being conducted on the X-37B, the experiments though. What kind of experiments did they do this? Oh my goodness. On this plane. The Air Force has kept mum on the specifics this time around. The only details released by the Air Force was that one of the experiments would be testing a highly efficient heat pipe. Exciting stuff. I don't want to hear about anyone's super efficient heat pipes. Anyway, so that's that. And then there's another article in Wired about California's wildfires. Now, as soon as I get these pop-up ads off of here.
There are many reasons we choose to protect things.
I don't want to hear that. Thank you. All right, here's the other one. California's wildfires are the doom of our own making. Huh. Okay. Let's see where this goes. The state is being squeezed by uber wildfires and rising seas. Okay. The rising sea thing. That's another one that just annoys me. Anyway, climate change is twin agents of chaos. It's a struggle that will define us. But here they're saying that, well, let's get into the article. Every generation claims an event that defines it more than any other, winning a world war, our landing humans on the moon, or tearing down the Berlin Wall. But at this very moment, we have a dubious honor of living through an event whose impact will span generations. Climate change. Well, humans are very innovative and we will probably adjust to it, but I digress. Never before has this kind as Arcane faced such omnipresent peril, from supercharged storms to rising seas to drought to crop failure to biodiversity crises. Oh my gosh, the hurricane argument. There have been, and I'm not saying that it'll never happen, but there have been fewer hurricanes over the last 20 years than probably in any time in recorded history, but that's okay. In California, the consequences of this species-defining peril are playing out with an unprecedented drama before a populace in a state of downright disbelief. North of San Francisco, 100-mile-an-hour wind gusts doubled the size of the Kincaid fire to 54,000 acres over the course of a single Sunday afternoon. The blaze now stands at 77,000 acres. The conflagration has destroyed 206 structures and threatens 90,000 more, forcing 200,000 people to evacuate. Firefighters' efforts at containment slipped over the weekend from 10% to 5%, but now stand at 30%. So that's an improvement, right? It slipped over the weekend from 10% to 5%, but now stands at 30%. So firefighter containment slipped. Okay, so it's back, with full containment not expected until November 7th. It could well burn all the way to the coast, 25 miles from the source of ignition, on October 23rd. Just to the south, a fast-moving wildfire spewed an ominous cloud of smoke that enveloped the Carquinez Bridge, and down in Southern California, the Getty Fire broke out early Monday morning, rapidly consuming 500 acres and threatening thousands of homes. Not far away, the Tick Fire has seared thousands of acres, resulting in devastating scenes of families fleeing for their lives. All told, over a dozen simultaneous fires are turning paradisiacal. That's interesting. Paradisiacal. Okay, California into a surreal kind of underworld, threatening hundreds of thousands of lives directly and indirectly compromising the respiratory health of still more in metropolises downwind, like the San Francisco Bay Area. Now, I was thinking here, there is a well, I wonder if they'll get into this, because it's not just the climate change issue that's causing this. Anyway, we'll just keep going in this article and see where they go with this. It's no coincidence that these wildfires are all burning at once. Climate change has stolen the rain that normally would rehydrate the state at this time of year. Seasonal winds blowing from the northeast have sucked out what little moisture that vegetation still holds after a dry summer, turning whole landscapes into tinder. A single spark can ignite a wind-driven wildfire that moves with such speed the firefighters can't safely confront it, even from the air, as flame retardants drop from planes and helicopters blow off course in the gusts. Mounting evidence also suggesting that climate change is creating even fiercer windstorms that tear through California. The result is what fire historian Steve Pine calls the pyrocene: climate change and land misuse. Land misuse? Now, see, there's a little part of it that they're finally getting to. Climate change and land misuse conspiring to create a unique period in Earth and human history, a sort of ice age, but with flames. Yeah, we'll have to see about that. There's been some issues, because they've been... Okay, so, if you're not sure, a lot of Northern California was forestry land, right? And we have this thing about, well, there's several species that, because of land misuse and whatever, land use issues, they've had to change how they clear land. And for some reason, clearing certain land certain ways is dangerous to certain species, so they stop doing it. And so there's also not only the extra, just what do they call it? They call it up here something. The extra tinder or whatever is contributing to these fires, where they're not clearing some of this dead land. So I don't know. Between the two, anyway, there's whole kinds of issues. Anyway, oh God. But history remember the burning as a generation-defining crisis, nestled with the species-defining crisis that is climate change. California is being squeezed from both sides, with wildfires in the east and rising seas to the west. Again, the rising seas. Never mind. The state is in a palpable state of shock, flailing with non-stop gap solutions like cutting off power to millions of people because Pacific Gas and Electric Company's equipment won't stop lighting fires, while on the coast, the city of Del Mar refuses to embrace the R word, retreat, and instead is taking chances on trying to adapt to a force that will inevitably consume it. It never had to come to this. Native peoples in California maintained a healthy relationship with fire. They, of course, didn't have a capacity to fight natural fires, whereas today we quickly extinguish those blazes to save lives, leading to a buildup of brush that forms one giant tinderbox. See, that's interesting. Yeah, because, naturally, these fires would just burn. But because they do put the fires out, it creates more brush. Oh, God, I'm glad I never moved to California. They also intentionally set fires, harnessing the restorative power of flames to reset the ecosystems to feed themselves. Today, California isn't doing nearly as many controlled burns as it should. In 2017, the southeastern U.S. burned 100 times the amount of land as California, even though the region is only 5 times bigger than the state. The consequence is a state built to burn and burn explosively. So again, that's a land management issue. It's crazy. California's wildfire problem is also laced. Here we go. It's laced with injustice. Skyrocketing home prices along the coast have pushed lower income residents eastward, expanding the urban wildland interface that is most prone to burning. So it is the poor who end up inhabiting the most fire-prone regions of the state. Well, I'm curious, because didn't we just hear that LeBron James' house is in danger? And the Reagan Library was in danger. Are those where the poor? I didn't know LeBron lived in the hood. Anyway, so does the poor end up inhabiting the most fire-prone regions of the state. The 30,000-person town of Paradise was such a place, largely populated by retirees living on fixed incomes. Okay, Retirees living on fixed incomes doesn't necessarily equal the poor. Anyway, Paradise, California. It's a retirement community, basically. Anyway, largely populated by retirees living on fixed incomes, last year's wind-driven campfire moved with such speed that many didn't have a chance to escape, and 86 people perished. Wow, that's terrible. Income equality also hampers what is perhaps the most effective solution to California's wildfire crisis. Scientists know full well how to prevent the next Paradise. People need to invest in non-wood roofs and regularly clear brush around their homes, the former being expensive and the latter being impossible for the elderly without the help of expensive landscapers. For the rich, this is no problem, and indeed it's been done before. The affluent town of Montecito has steeled itself against wildfire by clearing brush and implementing an exhaustive firefighting plan. Accordingly, while models suggest a worst-case scenario wildfire could destroy 500 homes in Montecito when the Thomas Fire reached the edge of town in 2017, only 7 homes were lost. Land management. No sane person is suggesting California can rid itself of wildfires entirely. People will always start fires accidentally or intentionally, but we can certainly point fingers at those responsible for the scale of this mess. Chief among them, PG&E, the power company, whose equipment sparked 17 major fires in 2017 alone. this fall. It's been now. Here's another problem. Okay, so PG&E is basically a monopoly in the state of California. The state of California made them the only power company. And oh god, what was it? There was some reason why they haven't been upgrading their equipment. That not because of revenue, because I think they had plenty of revenue, but there was some reason. And are they blaming this on profits? Well, this is a one company monopoly in California. Anyway, this fall, it's been implementing public safety power shutoffs on a dizzying scale in anticipation of wind events. Millions of people have lost power earlier this month, and during the latest rash of fires, but in a twist both tragic and ironic, last week it reported it hadn't cut power to all the lines in the area where the Kincaid fire started and noticed a transmission tower malfunctioned just before ignition. It raises the possibility that PG&E's equipment once again sparked the fire, though the utility hasn't officially been blamed for the fire yet. Californians are furious. So who should be more furious at? Your government, who created a monopoly with PG&E, or there's some God, what is it? There's something about some regulations why they couldn't do some of the upgrades or whatever. I don't know. Here's a video of someone trying to drive through the Kincaid fire. I don't even know why anyone would want to drive through this. And you definitely wouldn't want to stop. Jeez. Block grants, no oversight or accountability for distribution of funds. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, a couple people showed up since we started. Hello, Marsupial Gamer. Zombie Teddy, I think I said hi to. Good morning. Grill and Pirate Pete, how you doing? And I think I got it. Tyler F, I think he said hi already. Okay, I think I got it. Oh, Lindsay. Good morning, Lindsay. How are you doing? Good to see you in the chat. All right. Anyway, it's clearly a shit show. Here's how he winds up, though. These kinds of power outages further expose inequity in the state. So, you know what? Here's the thing. Exposing inequity, if there weren't inequity, would it make it any better? Yes, of course it's going to affect the poor harder when they can't, keep their fridges on and lose food. Anyway, for the poor, food spoiling in fridges comes at an enormous cost. For the sick and elderly, losing electricity sometimes means losing medical devices. Small businesses close and lose income. Gas stations can't pump gas. Meanwhile, the rich can head west to wait out the flames and smoke. Well, I don't know what your proposal is. Why? Okay, but the coast is also damned. Even if it's gradual, climate change-driven erosion produces less drama. Here, too, inequality is glaring. A growing number of homes is increasingly risk of dropping into the ocean or falling victim to catastrophic flooding. Now I just drove down the California coast, and certainly in the Los Angeles area, there are. The ocean would have to rise about 8 feet for. You might lose some beach, and I don't know. I guess we'll find out when it eventually melts in 100 years. I guess I won't find out because I will be dead. Those who can afford to move away will do so, while the less fortunate, especially in the low-lying, highly populated coastal areas of Southern California, well, hold on. The people who live in the low-lying, highly populated coastal areas of Southern California, if you've been to California and looked at real estate, those aren't the poor people. There are not a whole lot of poor people, except for the homeless who hang out on the beach near the beaches. But if you live near the coast, near where the water might be coming up, that's where the rich people live. all up and down the coast. The ocean views. If you can find an ocean view for less than $1 million, more power to you. That's just a weird, I don't know. Anyway, the growing number of homes that increasingly at risk of those who can afford to move away will do so, while the less fortunate, especially in the low-lying, highly populated coastal areas of Southern California, will endure the encroaching waters until they are forced to become climate refugees. And California can't agree what the hell to do about the problem. California is being squeezed by uber wildfires and rising seas, climate change twin agents of chaos, somehow saving the state of all of its people, especially the poor who will need the help most, will be this generation's moon landing. Well, how dramatic that is on this lovely Halloween day. Yeah, I know I'm kind of weird today. It's Halloween. I get to be weird. I like it. I should probably be recording creepypasta videos today. Thank you, by the way. Thank you, Tyler F. and Marsupio Gamer, for retweeting the stream out today. By the way, as you know, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. And the best thing you can do to support the show is to share these streams and any videos I happen to be putting out, which I still haven't put out any lately, but I will. I promise I will break videos. I'm actually pretty good at making videos. Here's the problem. I overthink every video I make. You know, like on the stream, I can just kind of blabber on and blah, 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 blah. But when I make videos, I'm always so concerned about making sure things are right and everything's researched and shit. And I just I get myself this block in my head, and don't call me a blockhead. And it's just tough. But anyway, the best thing you can do for me as far as sponsoring the show, number one, is share out the videos. You can hit the share arrow down there somewhere, or up here if you're watching on the phone or whatever. Just hit that arrow, hit what social media you want to share it on, and hit again. And that's 3 clicks, and you've helped me more than you can know. That is the biggest thing you can do. And then number 2, of course, liking is the video. If you like what we're doing, make sure you hit the little thumbs up like button there. Except for Duck Dog, you have permission to hit the dislike. That helps only because, you know what? It lets YouTube know that somebody likes what I do, and maybe it suggested them that maybe they should also recommend my videos. Now, it's not as well, you know, they don't recommend people who talk about news as much anymore, but you know what? It's worth a shot. So please make sure you like. And then finally, if you want to be a part of the show, right, and make sure that we get that's yesterday's. If you want to make sure that you are heard on the show, I will gladly read your messages on the air that you do through the super chats, and that link is in the description down below. Because I'm not always so good at following the chat. I try to, but if super chats, that little bell that clicks off, you know, the ding or whatever it does, that gets my attention. Plus, it's great incentive for me to keep doing what I'm doing, even though I love doing what I'm doing here. So, share, like, and super chats through the Streamlabs link. It's streamlabs.com/pdognight. Oh, and if you're not subscribed, I think everyone here is subscribed, but if you happen to be watching during the off hours and you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And when that little bell pops up, you got to click the bell so you get notified of, when we put streams out or videos. And also follow me on Twitter, at PDogNight. It's right down here. You can read it right there, at PDogNight. I'm on Gab and Minds too, even though I don't really use those other than as notification machines. But I definitely spend time on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. And if you have stories you want me to check out, you can send them to me by DM on Twitter, or you can email them to me at pdognight@gmail.com. All right, moving on. Let's see what's happening in the world, because, and thank you, Pirate Pete, also for retweeting the show. I appreciate that so much. Couple stories, we were talking about the whole impeachment thing yesterday, and so I'm just like eventually, I like to keep up with some of the stories that are on that. And one of the ones that came up this morning was this one about that whistleblower. You know that whistleblower guy they keep talking about, or gal. We don't know for sure who the whistleblower is, but well, apparently the whistleblower gets whistleblowed. I'm thinking about. I don't want to think about that sentence any more than I just did. Okay. In the immortal words of Gomer Pyle, surprise, surprise, surprise. Hey, if you know who Gomer Pyle is, put a 1 in the chat. Gomer Pyle is even way before my time. Although, when I was a kid, we used to see reruns of the Andy Griffith Show, and well, actually, Gomer Pyle had a show too. I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't the Jim Neighbors show. Anyway, if you know who Gomer Pyle is, put a 1 in the chat. After weeks of speculation amid uncharacteristic Washington secrecy, a somewhat clearer portrait of just who that whistleblower might be began to emerge on Wednesday. Hello, Richo. Good morning. And Mr. Dax, too. And, okay, I got you. Hey. It's a blockhead. Blockhead wouldn't make... Okay, all right. A very clear picture of why the Democrats have been so fiercely protecting his identity also came into view. He has connections to Joe Biden, Adam Schiff, and the Democratic National Committee, and the awful Trump-hating stain on so many news cycles, John Brennan. Oh, shocker! This thing stunk when we first found out that the whistleblower didn't even first have knowledge of the call. If he's Biden and Brennan's puppet, the stench becomes permanently toxic. The Democrats are doing everything they can to keep every aspect of this latest attack on the election of 2016 in the shadows. Schiff and company are finally, by the way, PJ Media is a right biased source, but I'm going to read it anyway because that's just how I am. Schiff and company are getting things moving in the formal direction today, and some Republicans are demanding a roll call vote in order to make Democrats be nice and public about what they are up to. What Democrats and their media mouthpieces don't notice, or maybe just aren't mentioning, is that the people who support President Trump are eager to get this process moving forward. It's curious that those who started it all seems to be hesitant to do so. Trick or treat, we'll know soon what we're getting. Oh gosh, this is funny because y'all saw about the dog, right? And so Trump tweeted this out. I think, did we talk about this yesterday? I don't think we did because I don't think it's happened yet. So Trump tweets out this clearly Photoshop picture of the dog that helped capture El Baghdadi, who's your daddy. And oh my gosh, the nonsense that happened after he tweeted this out. So clearly not a real picture, right? Because the metal down here has the paw print on it, right? And this is all clearly Photoshopped. They even left the white lines around the dog. But Trump tweets out American hero. Harmless fun, right? But this is 2019 and there shall be no amusement. None. No amusement. HuffPo's White House correspondent tweets, "Fine. The President of the United States is disseminating a doctored image created by a right-wing propaganda site." Oh, a doctored image. We've gone through this more than once, of this word doctored. So whenever they say doctored, they're trying to imply that somebody was trying to pull a fast one on us, right? They're trying to say that they're trying to deceive us. Nobody in their right freaking mind would have believed that this was a real photo. But wait, this is not even, this is the shot. There's plenty of chasers. Of course, this lady, Amelia, I'd like to introduce you to memes. Wait till you... oh, no. She went on for a while with mockery, but here's one of the favorites. Whoa, if true... I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty funny. There were reactions similar to that, to the HuffPo moron all over social media. Not to be outdone, the Washington Post dispatched a reporter to write a serious investigative article about the meme. Imagine waking up every day so consumed with hatred for the president that even the lightest of moments are cause for overwrought, disproportionately emotional responses. Better yet, don't be a liberal and never have to think about. Don't be a liberal and never have to think about anything like that at all. I mean, I'm just telling you, the Jim Acosta, literally his tweets on this thing were golden. I wish I had them pulled up. But hey, there is another controversy though regarding a possible photoshopped image. Okay, and I think the news reporters need to check this one out too. It's very important on this Halloween day. Trump awards Medal of Bravery to Chewbacca for heroic deeds during the Battle of Yavin. What? Trump has awarded a galactic hero, Chewbacca, his long-awaited Medal of Bravery for his performance in the Battle of Yavin. The Wookiee had been snubbed by other presidents who turned him down for the award despite his being nominated numerous times. American hero, Trump tweeted along with a pic allegedly showing the ceremony. Best walking carpet maybe ever. But not so fast. Some fact checkers, Snopes, the New York Times, and dozens of others unbiased, austere truth tellers immediately debunked the image, pointing out that the Wookiee could not have been presented with the medal since Wookiees are not real. They also scoured charts of the universe but could not locate the gas giant Yavin or its fourth moon, suggesting that such a place may not exist. We contacted the White House, but no one has been able to provide historical evidence that the Battle of Yavin actually occurred, wrote CNN journalist. One CNN journalist, I think his name was Jim Acosta. I think Jim Acosta wrote that. Also, we have traced the original image to the 1977 film Star Wars, and it appears that the entire thing may have been doctored. Trump later fessed up that he was just having some fun. A court has ruled that having fun is an impeachable offense. Thank God for the Babylon Bee. I'm telling you, that is beautiful. That is a classic article. And thank you for the Babylon Bee. All right. So, by the way, if you didn't know already, it is Halloween. Just thought I'd check to make sure you know. Hey, speaking of Halloween, I did. Oh wow! Thank you, G Prime. Good morning. Thank you for retweeting the show. Also, along with Tyler F and Marsupio Gamer, I do really appreciate that. Ductator says with the $10 super chat on Streamlabs, which is in the description down below. I don't even know why I didn't hear that. Why didn't I hear my super chat? Here, let me test something here. Okay, there it is. Anyway, with the $10 super chat from Duck Dog, aka Ductator, this music sucks. Bring back the funk. It's Halloween. Come on, man. First of all, someone calls me Boomer. Who was that? Was that Jaeger? Jaeger told me he calls me Boomer. You tell me my music sucks. Well, all right. You know what? I'll tell you what. You did give me a $10 super chat. I will bring back the funk. Okay, let's pause this. Let me go find some good funk here. Just a moment. Give me do 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 do. Let's just play some old school funk. Alrighty then. Good morning, Functional. Good morning, Check Your Logic. How you doing? It's Halloween, and sometimes I'm going to be doing this because it's Halloween. Alrighty then. Now let's move on. Let's find some news. Hey, I really didn't do a great job of doing my aggregating this morning, so we're gonna use my friend Ace and the morning report. Oh, what? What's this? Impeached judge sets rules of impeachment. Oh, so I find this funny because let's see. Do they have this here? Just a moment. So here's the funny thing. So they're having this vote this morning to formally set up this impeachment inquiry. And what about funky Halloween music? Oh, let me hold on a second. Good question. Let me go do this again. I do have where'd the music go? Where'd my music go? Did it just shut off? What the hell? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I don't know whatever happened to music here. Let's I actually do have some funky Halloween music now that I think about it. Hang on. Let me change this up a little bit. We're going to go here. Right here. All right, let's try this. This may kill two birds with one stone. Ooh, that's loud though. Just wait for it. Wait for it. How's that for some is that a little better? A little funky scary funky beats. Good morning. Oh, thank you, Jaeger. Wait, what the hell happened here? Oh, dude, I gotta get caught up here. Thank you, C. Thomas, for the $2 super chat via the Streamlabs link. Gotta love how the media are now trying to fact check or outright just ban memes. Yeah, it's silly. Oh, they're trying to change copyright laws, almost specifically to get rid of memes. But anyway, let me finish C. Thomas' super chat here. The irony of these grievance grifters trying to try to ban and preach against hate while they drown in it. Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny because the left, especially not all of the left, but the left that we hear the most from are always talking about hate, right? How the right's so hateful. They're the most hateful people on the planet. Thank you for the $2 super chat, C. Thomas. And Jaeger Pony, thank you so much. A $10 super chat. Oh, greatly appreciated. Sorry for before. It's not a tumor, and you're not a boomer. That's a Arnie reference. Okay, I'm not sure. And I'm only kidding about you calling me boomer. Believe me, I've been called boomer by far worse people than you. And so someone that I like calling me boomer, I'll just take it and run with it and think it's funny. It was just me being silly. Okay. Anyway, so let's get this impeachment thing, right? We're talking about the impeachment thing, and there's some irony. There is some irony that they're having this vote because really they're going to take what they've already been doing, the impeachment inquiry, in secret, and they're going to formally vote on keeping the impeachment inquiry in secret. But what's hilarious, as if to rub salt into an open wound. Okay, so here you go. I'm just reading this from Ace. I'll put it up here, even though it's going to be hard to find here. And I'm just reading this line here. The impeachment resolution slated for today gives Democrats carte blanche to go after Trump, his business dealings, family, and allies in almost every area of his past public and personal life. Like, there's no scale or scope. It's like shotgun approach, right? As if to rub salt into an open wound, one of the people, biologically anyway, who sits on the Rules Committee and crafting the guidelines for impeachment is none other than Alcee Hastings. Alcee fucking Hastings. For those not aware, Alcee Hastings was a federal judge from Florida who was impeached, convicted, and removed from the bench on charges of bribery. One of only 8 judges who have ever been removed from a bench in U.S. history. You'd think that would be enough to send one into the wilderness to avoid the scorn and derision of the public, as well as to attempt and to repent and atone. Well, you'd be wrong, as Alcee Hastings actually ran for and won a House seat and has been there since 1993. So I don't know if it says more about Hastings or his constituents. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that's just beautiful. Also, by the way, Matt Gaetz has filed an ethics complaint against Schiff. But anyway, so we already talked about how Steny Hoyer yesterday said that he wasn't sure if there. Let's see. Did I already do this one? I already did this one yesterday. I'm not going to do this one again. I was way ahead of Ace on this one. Let's get away from that for a minute. We're going to get away from the impeachment stuff. Let me let's see. Clinton Obama coup, congressional persecution, Spygate, deep state. Oh, here we go. Let's do this one. Just a second here. The bell is about to toll. The real malefactors of election interference are soon to be exposed. Yes, it's interesting. You know, here's another thing that I figured out yesterday, and I've been listening to a couple different people talk about this. You know, the whole thing where they say, you know, that this investigation by Bill Barr is now a criminal probe. You've been hearing about that, right? Well, I was listening to, what's her name? Tracy Beans. And she was bringing up something that apparently this John Durham, who supposedly has just started this investigation, he's the U.S. attorney from Connecticut, and he's been pursuing this criminal investigation. Were any of you aware that John Durham has actually been investigating this whole thing since May of 2018? Apparently there was a hearing, and I don't have it on the screen or anything, but apparently there was a hearing. Let me just pull this article down for a second. Apparently there was a hearing where they were talking, trying to get information. The Republicans were interviewing one of these people in this whole thing. That's who was being interviewed by Congress. He was there with his lawyer, and they were. Jim Jordan asked a question, and the lawyer told him not to answer. And so Jim Jordan's like, well, why aren't you answering this? And he said, well, you can't answer that question because it's part of an ongoing criminal investigation. And Jim Jordan's like, this is back in May of 2018. And Jim Jordan's asked, well, what do you, a criminal investigation? Who's doing this investigation? And the lawyer said, the Department of Justice. And so we can't answer that question because this was not a questioning under subpoena. So the lawyer says, nope, he's not going to answer that. Well, why aren't you going to answer? Are you pleading the fifth? No, this is not a formal inquiry, so we're not going to answer the question. And so Jim Jordan's like, well, who's this? Whose investigation? And they said, well, it's from the Justice Department. And so the question went on and on, but then Jim Jordan finally asked, well, who in the Justice Department is doing this investigation? In May of 2018, the lawyer for this person who's under investigation says John Durham. Now, think about this. So John Durham has been pursuing this criminal investigation of the people who have been investigating the investigators, so to speak. John Durham in May of 2018. So that means if he's been doing this, so he's been doing this investigation for over a year and a half. So it's kind of humorous that all of a sudden, a few days ago, the New York Times finally says, they finally say that there's a criminal investigation. They can panel a grand jury and they can subpoena witnesses and yada, yada, yada. But John Durham has been doing this investigation for more than a year and a half. And here's the other part. So people are saying, well, yeah, William Barr is, William Barr is just the mouthpiece for the president. Is he the president lawyer or is he the lawyer for the United States? And, he's appointed this John Durham to do this and that, blah, 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 blah. Hold up. Bill Barr was not the Attorney General of the United States when John Durham began his investigation. Do you know who was the Attorney General of the United States when John Durham began his investigation? William Jefferson Sessions. Is that his name? Jeff Sessions. So, I had my own little bit of personal questioning and disdain for Jeff Sessions for not doing anything. But John Durham has been investigating this for over a year and a half. So all this stuff that suddenly comes up, maybe it's just not so new. They've actually been able not to leak that this investigation has been going on for a year and a half. John Durham's been a busy boy. It's going to be interesting to see what he comes up with. The Keebler elf. Yeah, that's funny. So anyway, back to this. So, while it has taken a long time, but finally the Justice Department is training its guns on what heretofore was unthinkable, unless you are a career civil libertarian. For years, the civil libertarians have been warning us that the intelligence community posed a threat to democracy, as we know it in these United States. Every so often, they would point out some excess of the FBI or CIA and tell us that the lights were going out in democratic America. Does not the Washington Post run atop its front page the maudlin line, "Democracy dies in darkness"? Well, the darkness descended upon Donald Trump the moment he decided to run for president. The FBI and CIA, in cahoots with Mrs. Hillary Clinton and those popularizing the infamous dossier she financed, threw a blanket of darkness over his campaign. Late last week, we learned that what had been a Justice Department administrative review had suddenly become much more serious. It has become a criminal inquiry, which I argue has been a criminal inquiry for over a year and a half. They just kept it quiet. That means the Justice Department believes there is sufficient evidence that a crime has been committed. Now the prosecutor in charge, John H. Durham, does that name sound familiar? Will have the power to subpoena witnesses, testimony, and documents. He can convene a grand jury and file criminal charges. My guess is that he has already convened a grand jury. That seems to be the popular consensus now, that he may have already done that. Mr. Durham and Attorney General William Barr have been looking into the origins of the Obama administration spying on Trump. Just how did it begin? And who exactly started it? They are clearly unsettled by the answers they have found so far. Yeah, they wouldn't be talking about this if they haven't found something. It's not how it works. They have found something. Let's just say that and end it there. My colleague, George Normar, whoever that is, and I have been studying the Obama administration spying on Trump for over 3 years. While most of the mainstream media search desperately for a smoking gun carried by one of President Trump's people or even the president himself, we looked elsewhere. Here's the other thing. I know this is an aside, and things pop into my head every once in a while. You know who else I think they're going to figure out was quite nefarious in this entire debacle. That, you hear about Brennan Clapper, the FBI people. You hear about some of the, David Corr, some of the journalists that have been part of it. But you know who else? And I don't know if he allowed himself to be used or just his pure hate for Trump got him a part of this. This is going to be their out. This is going to say, well, this was a bipartisan effort. You know who I'm talking about? Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. John McCain. They're going to find out some things about John McCain in this investigation. This is my prediction. They're going to find out some things about John McCain. Because we already know he's been a little bit snaky in all this. He had some handling of that dossier. Bringing to some people, the press, whatnot. He, remember the whole thumbs down healthcare thing he did? Because he did not like Trump. He hated Trump. And maybe he was a little salty that Trump got elected president and he didn't. I don't know. I just have a feeling there's some major John McCain fingerprints in all this too, but let's keep going. We looked at the politicized atmosphere within the FBI and CIA. We even looked at British intelligence. No one else seemed interested, but we found evidence of criminal misbehavior by the former head of the CIA, John Brennan, the former head of National Intelligence, James Clapper, and the former head of the FBI, James B. Comey. On March 23rd, 2018. Interesting. March 23rd, 2018. Who wrote this? This is written by Emmett Terrell Jr. We'll get some information on him in a second. March 2018. What did I just say? What month was I just talking about? I was just talking about March 2018, right? That's a coincidence. In March 2018, we published the following lines. Quote, while Brennan's recklessness is obviously of no interest to the media, it is provoking increased concern among government investigators who are looking at a range of his abuses, from leaks to perjury to the outsourcing of spying on Trump to foreigners under the guise of intelligence sharing. And we went on. A member of the intelligence community tells us that he was approached by FBI investigators inquiring about Brennan's improprieties at the CIA. He was startled to hear him venting aloud about Brennan's practice of using British intelligence officials to spy on the Trump campaign, including American contractors hired by the British who were working from the 12th floor of a building in Crystal City, Virginia, and an NSA building in San Antonio, Texas. Brennan, they fumed, was using British intelligence agents so that he could deny, if asked, that he had spied on the Trump campaign. Fascinating! Fascinating, because isn't that what Christopher Steele was British intelligence too at one point. Now, if you will remember, President Trump claimed that the Obama administration had bugged Trump Tower. The chattering class raged about this claim for months, but we now know that Trump was right. Comey had sitting on his desk FISA warrants on Carter Page, Paul Manafort, and Michael Flynn that gave him the power to reach into Trump Tower and intercept their communications. Seized with Trump derangement syndrome, the Three Stooges, Brennan, Clapper, and Comey, had convinced themselves that Trump, a sui generis, which I don't know what that means, a businessman known for his patriotism, was a plant for the Russians. Psychologists would call that such a far-fetched notion a case of projection. It was Brennan, after all, who famously voted for Gus Hall, the Soviet plant who ran for president in the 1970s. Yeah. If you did it, I'm sorry, here, put the article back up. I blame or accuse your foes of what you're guilty of, right? The more perverse irony in all of this is that the American officials who bleated the loudest about malicious actors interfering in the election presided over a government that actually did. It was members of the U.S. government who spied upon Trump's campaign and sought to sabotage it through entrapment schemes and criminal links. It was Brennan who turned to foreigners for dirt on Trump to throw the election. They failed, but not for lack of trying. Just ask Harry Reid, who has noted Brennan's ulterior motive for briefing him on Crossfire Hurricane before Election Day. In the coming days, we will learn much more about this audacious mischief, first through the report of the Inspector General Michael Horowitz detailing FISA abuses, then through Durham's findings, which could result in a raft of indictments. Brace for impact, lefties, he says. It's going to be a bumpy year ahead. Yeah, you know, I'm just waiting for that Friday news dump regarding the investigations that Durham have going and the Inspector General report. I will they do that as a Friday news dump? What am I saying? Will they do that as a Friday news dump? That'll be interesting to see. All right, and then my other article on this is well, this is a good question, and I found it interesting, so I popped this up. Why is Vindman a war hero, but Flynn a traitor? Now, there is a whole bunch of news coming out on that Flynn case. His attorney is basically just turning that case completely upside down, especially since they figured out that the notes, they're called the 302s. The notes when they interview somebody, the FBI makes notes and they're called 302s, right? It's the 302 form where they're supposed to have kind of a pseudo transcript or memo, kind of like the president's memo of his call with Ukraine, a memo, a documentation of the interview with Michael Flynn. And apparently those 302s were edited. We're finding out by none other than, remember this name, Lisa Page. And they have documentation that they were, that at least because they, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok couldn't stop talking about it in their text messages. Well, they finally released some of the text messages that were hidden from the first time they supposedly had the text messages released. Oh, just conveniently the ones that tell you that the 302s had been edited, also known as altered, also known as doctored. Where's that? There's that word doctored again. Remember that word? Bunch of scumbags, I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. All right, the network coverage of the testimony of National Security Council staffer Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman as a bombshell and damning. The walls are closing in, people. The walls are closing in. I guarantee it. They're actually closing in this time. Okay, Wile E. Coyote. Okay, Lucy. What's Lucy? What are Linus? Does anyone know Linus and Lucy's last name? We know Charlie Brown's last name. Oh, Van Pelt. Yeah, they do have last names. There's other characters on the Charlie Brown series that don't seem to have last names. But Lucy and Linus, their last name is Van Pelt. The walls are closing in, said Lucy Van Pelt. Here, let me hold this wall called a football for you. Tick, 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 tick. Exactly. Anyway. I'll just start over. The network coverage of the testimony of National Security Council staffer Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman as a bombshell and a damning was laughable and dishonest, implying that his service to his country wearing his uniform made him a credible and unbiased witness without political agenda. Yes, they've held him up as the saint that he surely is. And because no way could anybody in who wears a uniform have any bias. Oliver North? I bet, you know what? let me just read the rest of this. Particularly egregious were the comments of NBC News anchor Lester Holt, who equated wartime courage with peacetime candor. As Newsbusters noted, after a report on the California wildfires, NBC Nightly News anchor Lester Holt told viewers there was a dramatic testimony in the House impeachment investigation by a decorated war hero who works on the National Security Council and was among those who heard that phone call between President Trump and his Ukrainian counterpart. Except that others on the call between President Trump and Ukrainian president, including those who were charged with producing a transcript, don't quite remember the call the way Vindman does. Certainly, both participants on the call both said there was no pressure for Ukraine to dig up dirt on former Vice President Joe Biden. As for the quid pro quo, we now know the Ukrainians didn't learn until August military aid had been delayed. The phone call was in July. It's hard to have a quid pro quo when the party being extorted is not told about the alleged quo. Just what was Vindman's problem with the call? In his opening statement, I haven't read it, but anyway, Vindman says he came forward because he did not think it was proper to demand that a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen. Now, demand? We read this. Okay, we've read this many times. We're not going to go back and read it again. He didn't demand. Oh my God. Yet, when pressed to explain where in the phone call transcript any demand was made, he lapsed into psychobabble about Ukrainian President Zelensky inferring a demand because of Trump's more powerful position in the world. Oh, good God. Vindman voiced concerns about the investigation request during his interview Tuesday, but it was also questioned over his statement that it was not proper to demand that a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen. That's according to Fox. The source told Fox News that Vindman struggled for several minutes when asked to point to Trump's language in the transcript that backed up the claim that it was a demand. Vindman later stated that Trump was the party with the most power or superior, so the whole thing was a demand asking for a favor. Well, really? So the United States is more important than every other country in the world, right? I bet they wouldn't let you say that, though, would they? What? So why did Zelensky say he felt no pressure? Vindman testimony comes, and again, this testimony was not a public hearing, right? Was this a public hearing? And yet we know everything happened in the behind closed doors non-public hearing? Okay. Vindman's testimony comes close to being as much of a fable about the call as was House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff's opening statement before his committee making up what he claimed Trump meant and what Zelensky understood. Certainly, 33-year military veteran Lieutenant General Michael Flynn was not treated with the same deference when he became the focus of a deep state coup attempting to keep Donald Trump out of the White House. He served his country with genuine honor and distinction. He served both in Iraq and Afghanistan, both for the Central Command and the Joint Special Operations Command, which included units like SEAL Team 6. President Obama appointed him director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, where he served until he fell out of favor for his criticism of President Obama precipitously withdrawing from Iraq, which created a vacuum the Islamic State rose to fill, with Obama doing nothing as he watched it grow except dismiss it as the JV team. Flynn's attorney, Sidney Powell, has filed a motion to dismiss the charges against him based on indications that the FBI altered his 302s. I just said that. Essentially, written reports based on witness interviews to make him look guilty and leaking information on Flynn's calls to the Washington Post, as reported by Red State. Powell alleges a setup of Flynn, including that the FBI 302s related to Flynn were edited. A 302 is the form the FBI uses to reflect what a witness says during an interview. Powell's filing also suggests that Office of Net Assessment, James Baker, by the way, the person who is being question in March 2018, it was James Baker. James Baker illegally leaked the transcripts of Flynn's calls to David Ignatius of the Washington Post. James Baker could be subject of the first indictment. They already have there's a public record of him doing that. Anyway, and Powell is specifically looking for the phone records of James Clapper to see about his contacts with Ignatius, including that he essentially told Ignatius to take a kill shot on Flynn. Huh. Fascinating. And they have... somebody had this information, right? All right. Powell's brief alleges that Flynn was essentially railroaded and set up, and that the prosecution has withheld exculpatory evidence that should have gotten the case thrown out a long time ago. As the Federalist report, Powell's 37-page brief pivots between showcasing the prosecution's penchant for, gosh, that's a lot of P's, for withholding evidence. Oh, C. Thomas, I'm sorry, real quick. C. Thomas, the $1 super chat. I'm not even hearing those for some reason. They're not ringing out. Anyway, Vindman is a hero because he speaks out against Trump, and Flynn because he failed to have damning proof of wrongdoing. Remember that everything we cherry pick is good and everything else is bad because reasons. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Thank you, C. Thomas, again for the $1 super chat through the Streamlabs link in the description underneath this video. Along the way, Powell drops half a dozen problems with Flynn's plea and an equal number of justifications for outright dismissal of the criminal charges against Flynn. What is most striking, though, is the timeline Powell pieced together from publicly reported text messages withheld from the defense team. Oh, they withheld some of the exculpatory evidence from the defense team? The sequence Powell lays out shows that a team of high-ranking FBI officials orchestrated an ambush interview of the new president's national security advisor, not for the purpose of discovering any evidence of criminal activity. They already had tapes of all the relevant conversations about which they questioned Mr. Flynn, but for the purpose of trapping him into making statements they could allege as false. So remember the word bombshell? This is a genuine bombshell involving a plot to overturn an election, and one does not have to resort to agenda-driven psychobabble to figure it out. Lieutenant General Michael Flynn is a war hero who is loyal to the truth, his country, and his president. When he is exonerated and asked where he can go to get his reputation back, I would suggest he start at the office of NBC's Lester Holt. This is NBC News. Thank you for watching. All right, there we go. All right, let's get into so that's it for the impeachment update and all that shit. This is getting messier and messier. Everyone's scrambling to get their information out first. TNC. How dare people we don't like do things we don't like because LAW, also known as law. Also DNC. It's okay when we do it, guys, or goys. Yeah. Anyway, it's getting messier and messier, and I think the Democrats want to throw as much poop on the wall as they can before this all comes out, and that's why this impeachment inquiry is so important for them to get voted on and whatnot. It's a shit show. It really is. And on that note, happy Halloween. Okay, moving on to Twitter trends, because it's that time. It's the time to get where we check out what's happening on Twitter, what's trending on Twitter, what are people going to be talking about for the rest of the day, and making videos about in the days to come. Well, if you didn't already know, today is Halloween. Here, I can't even hear my music. Is my music still playing? It keeps. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, I got spooky beats on. Is this out of curiosity, are the spooky beats working for y'all? Can you even hear them? I could hear them. It looks like they're still playing. And okay, I see it on the monitor here. Okay. So a little combination, not necessarily funk, not necessarily spooky, but some spooky beats, okay? Enjoy the spooky beats. Let's get into Twitter trends, though, because today is Halloween, and of course, trending number 1 on Twitter today, Happy Halloween. And in fact, I even had my own little Happy Halloween thing on there, which we'll take a quick look at. This is how Michael Myers woke up today. Oh, I got to make this smaller somehow. Oh, here. Okay, there's Michael Myers jamming out, right? You can't hear them. I can hear them. Okay, good. All right. Hey, Great Thunder Demighty. Nice to see you. I think I said hi to Mr. Dax. Hi, MC. Have a time. And, I think I got it ready. So that's Michael Myers enjoying, it is Halloween today. Happy Halloween. Everyone stay safe and have a fun, whatever that is, defeating the darkness as Sora. I don't know what Sora is. Oh, Janet Jackson says Happy Halloween. Just saw the dance tribute to Rhythm Nation on the Today Show. Loved it. Happy Halloween. Okay, all right. Oh, that's someone. Oh, I see. This is someone who's looks dressed up like Janet Jackson for Halloween. Okay, and she got someone. She got her little verklempt because Janet Jackson recognized her. Here, let's go to my. I did a Happy Halloween myself this morning. Let's check this out. I will play this one for you. Here we go. Here's my contribution to Happy Halloween. There we go. Just a little shot of my jack-o'-lanterns from last Halloween. Some of the scariest jack-o'-lanterns on record. There's my ghost, and then the scariest one of all. The NPC jack-o'-lantern. There we go. All right, so. Okay, so those are my jack-o'-lanterns from this from last year. I'm still carving my ones from this year, but that was my favorite. That witch really turned out really good. I like that one. All right, moving on. Oops, let's get this right here. Let's get back into Twitter trends. All right, so happy Halloween, everybody. Number 2 is Thursday Thoughts, as opposed to Thursday Thoughts. Yes, I did carve those. Those are mine. I carved those last year. And I got a couple more. I'm doing some more elaborate ones this year if I get to them today. I normally carve them like 2 or 3 days before Halloween, just so that I can put them out and make sure they don't get tricked out, so to speak. But anyway, you can. By the way, if you want to see that video, that's on my Twitter. It's on my Twitter page at PDogKnight. Or if you want to see the full video, you can go to Marty's Big Journey on YouTube, which is my other channel. I only have 3 videos on it, but one of them's the making of those pumpkins. I did a pumpkin carving video last year, and those are the ones I did last year. So you can see how I did it, and so on and so forth. Let's get into Thursday Thoughts. Let's find the top Thursday thought of the day. Yes, the depths of color in the autumn leaves is influenced by the blend of chemical processes and weather conditions. Low temperature destroy chlorophyll, so the green turns to yellow. But if the temperature stays above freezing, the leaves take on a red color. Well, in the Twin Cities Metro today, because we had some red leaves, but we're just beyond peak of the color season. But today, it's 27 degrees where I live, and they're all either yellow or they're dropping like crazy. But anyway, some nice pictures of some autumn leaves, and that little explanation tells you why. All right, now let's see what else we got for Thursday Thoughts. By 2023, Nigeria will have the following in our Air Force arsenal: 24 Mi-35 attack helicopters from Russia, 12 Super Tucano bombers from the United States, 6 Augusta 109H gunships from Italy, 3 JF-17 multipurpose jet fighters, Pakistan. Okay. Now, me being of Nigerian descent, this is of Olufunke Lawson, who's clearly part of Nigerian because she's excited about Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Okay, that'll be our Air Force. It's funny, thinking that other countries, how compared to our military, are just minute. Anyway, is there a good Thursday thought? Oh God. Hey, in life, ridding yourself of excess clutter allows for exponential growth. Okay, let's move on. Number 3 trending is something to do with K-pop. K-pop star Wonho leaves Monsta X. Don't care. Trick-or-treaters trending number 4. By the way, be nice to your trick-or-treaters. If you have trick, we got tons of trick. Hello, Mike Savage. I just noticed you here too. I noticed that our neighborhood's just full of kids. I mean, I go out and buy I do usually do fruit snacks, and then also I do fruit snacks and then one big thing too. So either full size like Reese's peanut butter cups or Snickers bars or whatever. And then I just I get a ton and I let the kids take themselves. We get about 100 trick-or-treaters at our house. It's a pretty fun neighborhood to live in for trick-or-treaters. I know a lot of places you don't see them. People say, oh, we don't get trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood. We get hundreds of them. In fact, we get trick-or-treaters from other kids' neighborhoods. And every year I build a big bonfire in my driveway. It's kind of fun. Anyway, trick-or-treats trending number 3. It's Halloween. I'm not going to go through that one. Thursday motivation will skip. Matheny is trending with Royals. Somebody got traded in baseball. Yes. Welcome to new Royals manager, Mike Matheny, if that's how you say his name. He's moving over from, I think, St. Louis. All right. Per league source, the Royals have hired Mike Matheny as their next manager. Press conference to introduce Matheny could happen today. So he's moved from one part of Missouri to another. In case you were wondering, We Did is trending number 8. What does this mean? Oh, Representative Ocasio-Cortez rips Trump on Twitter after the president claimed that critics should read the transcript of his infamous call to the Ukraine president. We did. That's why we opened an impeachment inquiry. Okay. Oh my God. We did. And today we act for the people. Representative Clark. Oh, so now everyone's tweeting we did. It's Exhibit A. Okay, great. I'm glad you read it, y'all. You didn't read it carefully, but whatever. Take it easy, C. Thomas. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate the super chats and your support on almost a daily basis. I really appreciate you what you do for us, C. Thomas. Have a great day. Okay, so this guy is super evil. We hate him, so we did him a huge favor by removing our useless asses from his employ. Okay, that's that has to do with the Deadspin people leaving. All the Deadspin writers leaving Deadspin because they got pissed off because the CEO told them that you should write about sports on our sports website, and they just wanted to write Orange Man bad. So anyway, We Did is trending, and there's a lot of other reasons why it's trending. Good enough. And Aaron Sorkin is trending. Why is Aaron Sorkin trending today? Oh, okay. Aaron Sorkin, who I think, did he direct the Social Network, the movie? Aaron Sorkin writes an open letter to Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook isn't defending free speech, it's assaulting truth. Oh my God. And right now on your website is an ad claiming that Joe Biden gave the Ukrainian Attorney General $1 billion not to investigate his son. Every square inch of that is a lie, and it's under your logo. It is a lie by innuendo. I don't know. Facebook allowing lies on. So everyone's after. Facebook allowing lies and political ads got Aaron Sorkin's attention. In his piece, he delivers some behind-the-scenes details about how Sheryl Sandberg handled The Social Network movie. Let's see. After we shot the movie, we arranged for a private screening of an early cut for your chief operating officer, Sheryl Sandberg. Miss Sandberg stood up in the middle of the screening, turned to the producers who were standing in the back of the room and said, "How could you do this to a kid? You were 27 years old at the time, but all right, I get it. I hope your COO walks into your office, leans in as she suggested we do in her best-selling book and says, 'How can we do this to tens of millions of kids? Are we really going to run an ad that claims Kamala Harris ran dogfights out of the basement of a pizza place while Elizabeth Warren destroyed evidence that climate change is a hoax and the deep state sold meth to Rashida Tlaib and Colin Kaepernick?'" Oh, are those actually? I don't know. Are those actually in there? We'll have to read this New York Times op-ed later. But Aaron Sorkin is the hero now for chirping at Zuckerberg. Aaron Sorkin writes furious open letter to Mark Zuckerberg accusing him of pumping out crazy lies. No, here's the thing. Is Facebook a platform or a publisher? Okay, there are some people who put out crazy conspiracy theories about all kinds of shit on the left and the right. Okay, I'm sure that they only focused on the bullshit that's coming from the right, because there is a lot of bullshit that comes from the right, but there's also a lot of bullshit that comes from the left. And he's not a publisher, so it's the people who write the bullshit who are responsible for the bullshit. And if they're going to start editing and doing editorial decisions about what goes on their platform, not their book that they're writing themselves, but their platform, then they need to be seem to be treated as a publisher. Allowing lies in political ads. Okay, political ads? I don't know. Whatever. It's all bullshit to me. I don't go. People hate Facebook. I hate Facebook anyway. I don't care. All right. That's why Adam Sorkin is trending. Oh, trending number 10. Today is Halloween. I think we already knew that. Manchin is trending. Oh, why is Joe Manchin trending? Manchin says he will not back Sanders if he faces Trump in 2020. Oh. So Joe Manchin, the Democrat from West Virginia, he's a senator, is not a fan of Bernie Sanders and says he will not back Sanders. I'm sure he's going to get a little backlash for that. Let's find out on some of the Twitter trends today. Is Joe Manchin aware that Bernie won the West Virginia primary by a landslide in 2016? Well, Bernie won the West Virginia primary by a landslide in 2016. How about we wait and figure out if he wins it by a landslide in West Virginia in 2020 or 2019, whatever they do their stupid primaries. Huh? Everybody's I was going to say everybody's kung fu fighting. But anyway, Facebook, aka Boomer Book. Hey, now listen. The one thing I do like about Facebook is I do get to keep track of my friends, but all my friends are boomers. So what I hardly ever go on there. I do have a P-Dog Night page too. Shh, don't tell Facebook I have 2 pages. But I don't use it. I don't have any friends. I should start adding friends on my P-Dog Night page to see if anything happens there. But I hardly ever look at it. I just have it there because when I do games, they want you to link it to a Facebook page. I don't want it to link it to my real Facebook page. I don't need a fucking game knowing where I live and where I live's not a Facebook. I don't need Facebook or some game bugging all my Facebook friends trying to get them to play some fucking game that I'm playing. So I have a separate P-Dog Night Facebook page specifically for gaming. I like golf games, like on my phone and shit. So anyway, where's the Bernie's not a Democrat crowd on this? Oh, see, now that's interesting because Bernie is technically not a Democrat, even though he's running for the Democratic nomination. I want to find someone actually pissed off. Retweet if you think Joe Manchin needs to drop the act and just change his party ID to Republican. Well, you know what? Not all. I'm going to say there's quite a few Democrats who probably, if Bernie's the nominee, which I don't think he's going to be, but who probably aren't real thrilled with the whole socialism, whatever the fuck he calls social Democrats thing. There's plenty of Democrats who aren't going to vote for Bernie Sanders if he's the nominee. Just saying. The Democrats are in a bind. Because they either get a Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren who's just way out there, give the world away, and the corporate Democrats aren't going to vote for them. Or you're going to get a corporate Democrat, Joe Biden, or who else could be? I don't know. Who are the He's really the only one right now. Well, Warren slinks between corporate Democrat and social, weirdo. But she is so busy seeing how many things she's going to give away for free. There's plenty of Democrats who aren't going to vote for her either. And certainly there's way more independents that aren't going to vote for that shit. So, Manchin's a corporate Democrat, and that's what he does. So him saying he probably wouldn't vote for Bernie, it's a little premature to even be saying that. But anyway, Manchin's move seems pretty disrespectful to Democratic voters. Okay. Good morning. Here's Democrat Joe Manchin endorsing Trump over Bernie. He's in a red state. Joe Manchin says he absolutely will not support Bernie Sanders' agenda, says he won't vote for him versus Trump, and refuses to rule out voting for Trump. Woo, he's going to be the subject of a lot of mean and nasty tweets today. Joe Manchin, get to know him. All right, moving on. Happy Samhain, whatever that is. Okay, so Samhain, isn't that the Irish kind of thing? Because isn't Halloween kind of originated in Ireland, and Samhain is kind of the Irish word for Halloween, isn't it? I apologize in advance for my super excited tweets for this special day. Open that westward window and light a candle for the ancestors trying to find their way home. Blessed be. A lot of people, okay, happy Samhain, everyone. My only mouth sounds video ever, I promise, will be out tonight. Okay, is that some some ASMR is telling us about his mouth sounds. I think I'm gonna pass on your mouth sounds thing. Gaelic, thank you. Gaelic for Halloween. Mouth sounds, come on, dude. Happy Samhain, Twitter friends. The day when the veil between the worlds is at its most thin. This is a photo from a few months ago. My favorite mystical photo. What's mystical about it? There's some ghost in the rock, in the stone here? I don't know. What the hell? Hang on a second. Was that the end of my horror music? Oh, it kind of was. There, we'll start over. All right, moving on back to Twitter trends. Happy Samhain. Okay, so that's the Gaelic for Halloween. So lots of people are tweeting about what the fuck. Okay, I'm not even gonna click that. Two Dems is trending. So on. Samhain, so on, the festival of the final harvest. Okay. Two Dems is trending. Gotta be something Trump said. Who the hell are the two Dems that just voted against impeachment? Oh, two Democrats voted against the impeachment inquiry. See, now this is funny because these dumbasses are like voting against impeachment. No, they're not voting on impeachment right now. And a lot of people believe this. And that's the problem. A lot of people, when you talk about this, when they say they're doing an impeachment right now. They're no. They're doing, and two Dems, one cup. Oh my God. They're doing an impeachment inquiry. Not impeachment. Impeachment. Inquire. They're making the people think they're actually doing something. Who are the two Dems who first voted against impeachment? They didn't vote it. Well, nobody voted for impeachment. Yeah, here it is. 231 to 2. Democrats 194. Not one Republican voted for it. The one independent voted for it. Bernie Sanders. Or no, not Bernie Sanders. He's not in the Congress. Anyway, so the final vote was 232 to 196. Two Dems voted with the GOP. Two Dems. The House of Representatives easily approves a resolution addressing impeachment procedures. It's a sham too. I'm not going to read it, but it's BS. Bipartisan vote. I always love it though, because whenever someone gets something where there is even one or two of the other party votes for your resolution, and it's all partisan vote beyond that, well, in this case, you can call it a bipartisan vote against the impeachment inquiry versus the partisan vote for the impeachment inquiry. That's pretty embarrassing for Speaker Pelosi. No wonder she wanted to try to do this one without a vote. I mean, that's just, I hate it when they do that. Oh, two Republicans voted for this entirely Democrat bill. Oh, well, we just had a bipartisan vote on it, and they clearly it was bipartisan. Well, the Republicans could do that now. That's a Nancy Pelosi thing. She does that shit all the time. All right, real quick, moving on. Okay, how do you say it again? Sohan. Okay. Catherine Herridge leaves Fox News for CBS News. Oh, interesting. Chief intelligence correspondent for Fox News is now joining CBS News. She's actually a good reporter. Pretty straightforward. You don't really know her bias, so I mean, she should fit in wherever she goes. Hopefully that they don't try to taint her. Another major defection from the newsrooms of Fox News. Catherine Herridge is joining CBS News as a senior investigative correspondent. I feel privileged to join a team where facts and storytelling will always matter. Oh, Catherine, is that a shot? Oh, good God. All right, well, it is what it is. All right, good luck to Catherine Herridge. Let's see. Next thing, Merry Halloween, Thursday motivation. And you know what? So little about the World Series champs. Unbelievable it's not trending still, but we do have a new World Series champion. That would be the Washington Nationals. Congratulations if you're a Nationals fan. I don't know if there are any true Nationals fans because Washington's such a transient town. But congratulations to the World Series champs for finishing the fight. See all this Saturday on the National Mall. They're going to have their celebration will be on the National Mall. Good for them. I wonder if President Trump will be speaking at this. Oh, what does this say? Please, dear, to whom it may concern, please excuse our friend Dash from work, school, general activities on Thursday, October 31st, not because of Halloween, but because they were watching the thrilling World Series Game 7 last night. This type of historic event does not happen often, and we apologize for your inconvenience. By the way, it's unfortunate. I don't know why this is this year, but this year's World Series was one of the least watched World Series in, I think, 30 years. Their ratings were terrible this year. Don't know why. I mean, is it because it's the Washington Nationals who have no real traditional following, and the Houston Astros, which is a market that's often forgotten? And also because a lot of the series have had the Yankees in them, and the Yankees, as much as everyone hates the Yankees, unless you're a Yankee fan, the Yankees have a huge television draw to them that's built in. So that is understandable. So let's finish the day real quick. I do have, let's see, let me check the notifications here. Happy Halloween. A couple people liked my tweet. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you too. Okay, this is from an old tweet. Speaking of doctored, remember this? New York Magazine, the leader of the free world, tweeted a doctored video of Joe Biden fondling himself. Well, it's not a doctored video because a doctored video implies that someone was trying to make you think it was real. Unless you think they're two Joe Bidens, this video was not doctored, you morons. So it was fake? I knew it, said JTLO. Yeah, they can't be 100% sure, but I'm sure Snopes and PolitiFact will clear it up soon whether or not it's fake. So anyway, they've been doing. Oh, I didn't even show it to you. There it is, right there. So there it is. The leader of the free world tweeted a doctored video of Joe Biden fondling himself. Ah, you freaking morons! You are just stupid. Anyway, so that's it for the show today. I hope you've enjoyed the spooky music and the general banter of me, P-Dog Knight, who I never even said who I was, but you already know anyway. And thanks for being here today. I really appreciate you guys coming here today. Big shout out to the super chat crowd of C. Thomas, Jaeger Pony, and Duck Dog, although it says Duck Tater. Duck Tater, are you a duck? Is Duck Dog, or are you? Oh, I get it. Donald. I was going to say Trump for Trump, but Donald Duck the Ductator, kind of like Donald Trump is a dictator. I don't know. I prefer tater salad. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here today. It's been fun. Hope you have a happy and safe Halloween. Whether you're going to go out and party, or whether you're going to hand out candy to kids, or whether you're just going to stay home and watch a scary movie or listen to some scary music. I don't know. But whatever you do tonight for Halloween, please, please, please do it safely. P-Dog, I thought this was Monkey in the Morning. Oh, because I'm ranting so much. Oh yes, Blind Press too. If you can, if you're able to continue watching or listening to your YouTube channel, be sure to check out Blind Press, who starts in 15 minutes. I'll put that stream copy and paste. Blind Press will be on in about how long? It usually tells me how long. Oh, in 15 minutes on her channel, which I just put in the chat. So you can click that when we get done here. And also, just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, please, please, please hit the like button. Hit the share arrow. 3 clicks will help you out huge on that share arrow. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe and click the bell when the bell pops up so you're notified when we stream again. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, Monday through Friday. Did I say Monday through Friday twice? I don't care. We're here Monday through Friday. And I want to emphasize we're here Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern and 9 o'clock Central. So, thank you everybody for coming to the Morning Night Live. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you tomorrow. Dog Park Friday. I might have a guest. I might not. I might just invite one of y'all on. We'll see. You'll know. I'll watch my Twitter feed and I'll let you know if we're gonna have a guest or not. So, thanks again. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.